Your Father says to me that in heaven, he's put back to the way that he was. Because when your dad was passing, I even see you looking at him being like, oh my God, this doesn't even look like my dad. This doesn't look like him. I feel like I'm looking at a completely different person. So first of all, know that your Father is here from the other side, because he kept saying to me, Matt, that's my daughter, that's my daughter. And this is crazy, because when I'm connecting with your Father, first of all, he's so happy that he can step forward and speak to you like this. And when I'm connecting with him, right away, he's showing me that there were circulation issues that were going on in his body here in this world. Because he keeps telling me like that different arms would go numb or like legs would go numb. Like he had these weird things that would happen with him here in this world. Do you understand that?
Yes. Yes.
And he's also telling me when I'm connecting with him that he was dealing with a double illness here in the physical world. Your Father says to me this, he goes, Matt, the one thing that I wish that I would have gotten to tell my daughter is I wish I would have gotten to tell her how much that I loved her, how much that I cared about her, and how much that she meant to me. When I'm connecting with your dad, he tells me he had an issue speaking at the end. There was an issue with him being able to get out words and with talking.
A little, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
He goes, it's like I couldn't get the words out, he's telling me.
At times he couldn't talk.
He says to me that one of the things that he wants you to know is about how special you were to him here in this world. When I'm connecting with your Father, this was a really tough passing because your dad was very smart here in this world and he was very self-taught because he shows me that. He keeps showing me that he had like books and books and books here in this world. Do you understand that?
Yes.
And he tells me that the family still has his books or kept some of his books here in the physical.
Everything. Yes.
And your father like used to love to learn about like history and certain things that had happened. And when I'm connecting with him, this man is like, he's kind of boring when I'm connecting with him because he's showing.
Well.
He's showing me, he goes, Matt, this was my life. He goes, when I was here, he goes, I loved figuring out how things worked, how things were put together.
Oh,
he goes, and I could fix anything, he's telling me.
He did.
Because I see him like screwing with the car when I'm connecting with him. He shows me about like people used to bring over like their broken shit to him because he's the only one that would take the time. Oh, you did that.
Me.
Shut the hell up. But wait a minute.
Me and my husband, he did everything for us.
He's telling me that your mom used to get pissed because I feel like people used to like, I don't know if it was you or like other family members used to drop shit off to your father.
Yeah, pretty
And he
much.
used to like hold on to people's shit. Like, don't throw out that lamp. I'll get to that. I'll fix that. Like, put it over here.
That's my dad, yes.
And I see your mother being like, why do we have to hold on to all this shit? Like, we got shit in this house. You got your own shit to fix. Do you understand that?
I do.
And also, I keep seeing the military connection here in the physical world. So he's talking about being in the military back in the day.
He was.
He tells me those were proud moments for him here in the physical world because he just showed me a sepia tone picture of him all dressed up, which is his way of telling me that that's his favorite picture of him from back in the day. Your dad tells me this. He says, Matt, he goes, you know that when I was here, one of the things that I loved was the relationship that I had with my daughter. Because back when you were younger, it's funny, he didn't treat you like a girl here in the physical world. He goes, Matt, he goes, I didn't know how to be a girl dad. He goes, they did everything that I did here in the physical. So would he try to get you to go like fishing and things like that here in the physical?
Yes, he did.
All right, listen, I didn't ask if you liked it. I said to you
We
that,
went, yeah.
because he shows me about you being out on the water with him here in this world, and your father thought that was the best thing. Do you understand that?
I do.
And you know, he said to me, Matt, that's what I loved. I loved being on the water because he's showing me that. And even on the other side, when I connect with your loved ones, they'll give me a little glimpse into what heaven is like for them. And when I'm connecting with your dad, he shows me, like in the middle of the water when I'm connecting with him. He tells me this. He says, Matt, please tell my daughter that one of the things that I was so happy about was before I passed, he said, I still knew what was going on around me. He says, even though my body was having so many issues here in this world. And when I'm connecting with him, it's like even though your dad's body was given out, and even though he couldn't do things like be mobile or do the things that he used to do, he shows me that he always like used to try to keep his brain sharp here in this world. And he shows me when I'm connecting, he keeps showing me like books of the crossword puzzles, or they look like either crossword puzzles or word searches. How do you connect with them?
The word searches he liked to do.
Perfect. Please know that he said to me, Matt, he says to me, I can't believe this kept me occupied for as long as it did, he said to me. And I see him going like, doing the little word searches, and he used to mark the date like on the page that he did it.
Really?
And he's bringing this all through when I'm connecting. What I need you to know is this. Your father says to me that in heaven, he's put back to the way that he was. And that's something that you need to know. Because when your dad was passing, I even see you looking at him being like, oh my God, this doesn't even look like my dad. This doesn't look like him. I feel like I'm looking at a completely different person. Your father says to me, Matt, please let her know that on the other side, he says, I look the way that I did before I got sick. And he's bringing that through. But he says to me, Matt, I got to be honest with my daughter. I was ready to leave this world. He says, because when I was here, your dad was somebody who was very active, who was very mobile. He was a go-getter here in the physical.
Absolutely.
He says, and once he lost the ability of using his legs, he felt like he lost the ability to do everything. Because he keeps saying to me like this, like, Matt, there's just no way to live. He's like, my hands used to shake here in this world. He talks about getting the shakes. He talks about his legs giving out on him. He says, and he did not want to be in the wheelchair here in the physical world when I'm connecting. So know that this is his way of letting you know that your father, he's not saying that he gave up, but he is saying that he made the journey to transition to the other side before it got too bad.
It's true.
And he wants you to know that.
Okay.
He says, please let her know that every day that goes by, I am there and with her. And I got to tell you one other thing. He also talks about watching over your mom here in this world as well. And that's something that you're having such a hard time with.
Yes.
Because you had to watch your father pass, and now you're going through that same thing with your mother here in this world. And they're telling me that you've been having so much grief because you've been trying to help your mom, but she's not like your father.
No.
And he's telling me, boy. He just said to me, Matt, she's lying to her. So your mom isn't telling you the truth about everything that's going on with her. And she's telling me that she has not been eating the way that she's supposed to be. So how do you connect with her not eating?
I don't know. I always ask her what she's having for dinner, and she kind of just, I just threw a sandwich, or she's not eating like when she cooked for my dad.
He said to me this, he says, Matt, he says, the one thing that I want her to know is that at the end of the day, you're doing the best you can. But she also wants to make sure that you get your mom some snacks, because I'm worried about her falling here in this world when I'm connecting with your dad. And he's telling me that the reason why she's having these issues is not because there's something major going on with her, but I feel like she hasn't been eating here in the physical world. And he says to me, Matt, she's not the same woman she used to be. He says she gets up, he says the only thing she lives on is coffee. She has coffee, she makes herself a little coffee, and then that's it. Like that, she'll eat a little bit and go to bed. So please know that one of the things that he's acknowledging is this. He says, you tell her that this came from me, because she talks to me every night, he tells me. So you tell her that dad is worried about her, and that she better start eating and taking care of taking care of herself, because he still loves her very much from heaven.
Okay, I will.
So
Thanks,
please
Dad.
know that, and know that he is with you, also with her, and watching over you every single day.